everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back with another quilt top tutorial. I am hoping that this is a quick and easy quilt top. I have no clue, have not done it before, have not seen anything done this method because you know I like to just make things up and wing it. This is my practice pieces. I just drew lines on paper and tried to make it work to what I wanted, and this is what I want. So we're going to just be making some 4-patch blocks. Well, maybe not. I don't know exactly how big I want this. As I go, I will decide. It might end up being just a very small quilt top for the sake of time and this tutorial. But what the thing is that you need to do is get some striped fabric. We're going to make stripes look different just by the way we cut the fabric and how we create our strip sets, and then turn those and sew them together. So here's what you're going to do. I have stripes running parallel to the selvage. Here's the selvage edge right here. I don't think it would matter because we are going to be cutting and turning. If your stripes are going perpendicular to the selvage, you should be all set. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure across, not including the selvage. And I can get 22 inches across. Pick an even number. If it's like closer to 22 and a half, well, call it 22. Okay, so 22 this way at least. And so I'm going to cut a piece 22 in the other direction. How about I fold it this way just to make it easier? And you know me, I like to use scissors. I get so much shit about that. You should be using a rotary cutter. You use whatever you want. I'll use whatever I want. You know, there's no crime in using scissors. And then somebody actually complimented me on my scissors skills. I'm like, what skills? I just cut the shit. So I'm lining up kind of to the edge, just leaving a little bit hanging there. And I'm at 22. And I'm just eyeballing this, and I'm going to cut across. Open this up. Now I'm going to turn it so that the selvage is on my right-hand side. I am going to fold up. Don't worry about things being evened because everything's going to be trimmed. And I'm going to put this folded edge on the 22-inch line. And I can see that I'm going to have some of my selvage showing because there was a wider selvage on the other end that I didn't see. So let's move it to, do I want to go all the way down to 20 for the sake of easy math? I do not. I have an idea. Okay, I'm just going to slide it down. We're going to do cutting on the fold. That always works for me. I'm just going to slide it down until I lose my selvage. So I'm at about 21 and a half. And I'm going to cut the selvage off with my fine scissor skills. And now, keep paying attention. I am going to fold the folded line over to where the selvage was. I'm going to turn it. And I'm now going to cut along this fold. Remember, I take the easy tacky way out all the time. Let's turn this again. Now, this piece here, the piece that is two separate strips, one still has a fold attached to it. I'm going to move these two aside. These two are going to be part of the strip set that we are making. And then this guy, okay, I have my fold down here. We do not want to cut this fold. I'm going to fold it this way. And I'm going to cut along this fold. It's very easy once you just can figure out how to turn this stuff. Now I'm going to open these two. So I have two like this. Lines going up and down, and I have two like this, lines going across. And they should be approximately the same size, approximately. So let's take one of each, and what we're going to do is just sew this strip to this strip. And I'm just going to press this one a little bit, and then I'm just going to put these two together like this. And I'm just going to kind of center it. We're going to be trimming the edges, so don't worry about that. I'm just going to sew about 1/4 of an inch in. Doesn't matter. You use whatever seam allowance you like. Just try to be consistent. And then I'll be right back. Now I have 2 pieces that look like this. See? All right, let's take one. Now it just happens that this edge is pretty even, so I'm not trimming there. Now I'm not trimming to size at this point. I just want to trim the edges, and I'm just eyeballing it with scissors. So I'm just going to trim right there, just for folding purposes. Now I'm going to take my seam and I'm going to aim it toward me, because we want to make a cut, and I'm going to cut on the fold. Going to fold up. That's why I wanted even edges. I don't care how big the block is. That's going to be trimmed after. And we're going to cut on this fold. Now we are going to take one of these and turn it. And we will be sewing this together. And you can, don't try to line up your edges. Just line up your centers. All the other stuff can be trimmed. See how cool? And that's going to be one big ass quilt block. So we just made 2. Well, we will make 2 as soon as I finish this one. What we just did will make 2 blocks, and I might make just 2 more, and that will be the little quilt that I make. But for now, let me put these 2 together. I'm gonna line up my seam as best as I can. Oh, and notice I picked like a wonky stripe. I don't know, just thought it adds to the wonkiness. If you want just regular stripes, it can be any kind of striped fabric. It can even be a striped fabric that has a print involved, whatever you want. Okay, I'm just going to go sew right here, and I'll do that to the other one, press them open. I'll be right back. I actually wanted to show you how I trimmed this one, because this one doesn't have an even side. The other one did. So I'm going to take this one, and you can see this piece sticks out on both ends, just a little bit. So again, I'm just going to eyeball this, assuming you can see what I'm doing. I can't really take my eyes off it once I start. That would be like distracted driving. So I just wanted to show you. You would just trim both your ends, then you would just turn so that the seam is aiming to you, and then fold up and cut on the fold once again. You know, there's a lot to be said for cutting on the fold. Things don't have to be all perfectly cut to put them together, because we're gonna fuck up anyway. So I say just put the stuff together and then trim your blocks at the end. Easy peasy. I will be doing the same with this one. I'm going to turn one. I will put them together. And again, don't worry that this is uneven. That's all good. I'll be sewing there, and then I'll be back. I want to show you, for this first block, I know the coloring isn't right. You know, my intersection came out like pretty much perfect, just about. For this one, by the time I got to the machine, I completely forgot that there was an intersection, and it's not perfect. But look, with the wonky stripes, who cares? It's still pretty cool, I think. So now we're going to trim these. So I'm just going to figure out like what the biggest is that I can get. Let me see. I don't know if they're going to end up being more rectangular. If they are, I like that, because I like my little quilt tops to be longer than wide. I think they might be. I don't know. I think after they're trimmed up, they won't be rectangular. So let me just take one. And let's figure this out. Okay, these 2 edges are even. How'd that happen? I'm just going to turn, and let me just measure. Okay, so it would be going like right from here to here. That would be 20.5. This way to this way. Almost 20.5. So they will be square. Let's see if the same happens with this one. I did use a bigger seam allowance, probably closer to 1/2 inch. I just felt like having a big seam allowance today. All right, so like here to here, 20 and a half. Here to here, 20 and a half-ish. So I can get 20 and a half out of my blocks, and I think I'm just gonna say 20. Let's make it easy, just so I can make sure, because the other blocks, maybe I won't be able to get quite 20 and a half, but I should be able to get 20. First, I'm just gonna do a rough cut right here to trim this. Save these little suckers, they come in handy. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Just a rough cut. Now I'm going to pick a seam in any direction. I'm going to fold this on the seam. Oh, I need the long edge. And I'm putting my thread line, okay, 20 and a half. I'm going to cut 20. So I want to be on the 10-inch line. No, this makes no sense. Oh, phew. I need to be this way. Make sure that your numbers are going in the right direction. So I want to be on the 10-inch line, 10 here, 1 here. And I'm going to put my thread on the 10-inch line, top and bottom, because that's my seam, about like that. And then I'm just going to trim. So now when I open, I will have 20 inches this way. Now I'm going to turn and do the same on my other seam. Going to fold on that seam line and put it here. My thread on the 10, my thread on the 10. I'm not putting my edge to the 10 line, I'm putting my thread, and I'm going to trim. Now I have a block that is 20 by 20. Easy as that. Let me trim the other one. Let me make 2 more like this, and then we'll put it together. Okay, guys, I screwed up, and I'm going to tell you, when I tried to trim the other end, for some reason when I turned it, I ended up trimming the same edge twice. So that's what I believe, because this edge is not trimmed up. So I'm folding it again. I'm going to trim. I'm going to show you on the other one. We'll try the other one and see if I can do a better job. You know, lazy tacky methods do have their faults. However, this is a good time, though, to explain that if you do screw up and your blocks are not all the same size, well, you just trim them again to the same size. Okay, now I'm confident this one is okay now. And even though I'm lining up on the 10-inch line, I have about a good 1/4 inch when I cut on the edge of my mat, so my blocks are actually coming out to like 20 1/4. Yours can probably come out to 20, depends on your mat. Okay, so let me show you on this one. We'll see if we can do a good job on this one. First thing I'm going to do is just rough cut those uneven edges. And, oh my God, I get so hot with a plastic measuring tape around my neck. I'm telling you, I could go outside with no winter coat. Well, I pretty much go outside with no winter coat anyway in the winter. But I would be hot enough with just a measuring tape around my neck. Okay, so I'm going to fold this way. Okay, one way is always easier to fold than the other because of the way we put the pieces together. So I know that I'm on this edge this time. This is the easy fold. My thread is on the 10-inch line, top and bottom. I'm going to trim. Now I'm going to open. Now I'm going to fold this way, where this is not as easy to fold. But don't worry, just kind of like, you know, find your ends. This thread on the 10, this thread on the 10. We're gonna do it the right way. First try this time. And that's it. All right, I'm going to make 2 more of these, and then I will put that all together like one gigantic 4-patch, and we'll see what it looks like. You guys, this is absolutely going into the 1-hour quilt top category. This is so quick and easy. I can't even begin to tell you how quick and easy this is. And I have my 4 blocks. You know, it's going to make a small quilt top. That's why it's good for an hour project. And I don't finish my quilts on camera. I don't finish them at all. This will end up on eBay as just the quilt top. I don't enjoy anything other than just the piecing. So I'm trying hard to do things that I enjoy, and only things that I enjoy. And anyway, but I do get asked all the time, how do I finish this? Guess what? There are tons of videos out there on YouTube that will show you how to back a quilt. I have a couple of methods. Go look at my old videos. Anyway, we're going to just now put these babies together. And it's going to be like one big 4-patch. So I just need to turn it to make sure. Huh? Oh, what gives? Oh, as if. No. Are you telling me I can't put these together? Okay. So see, another boo-boo we didn't plan. No matter how I do this, they're running in the same direction. And we can't have that, no matter how I turn it. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. That would mean that I would have to cut these apart. I tried so hard to have something quick and easy for you. I would have had to pay attention to that and not make all the blocks identical. I don't understand though. How come it doesn't work? It's because I did not make the blocks identical. I would have had to pay attention. This block, for some reason, is different than all the others, okay? Let's see. I have one here that no matter how I put it, let's say the top right is up and down. No matter how I turn it, top right is up and down. These others, top right is sideways. Top right is sideways. Top right is sideways. So I have 3 identical, and it's just this guy that's off. I didn't realize we needed to pay attention to that. So these would work. See, I like when I make mistakes. It makes you guys feel better. See what I mean, Jelly Bean? You know, now we have it alternating, which is what we want. And we would here also. We would have the other 2 blocks. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pick this apart and I'm going to fix it. Hang on. The very good news is I only had to take apart one seam. This was this way, and I took that seam apart. That was the last seam I sewed, so it was very easy. I just picked some threads, it came right apart. I need to put this down here and move this here, because I want it to look like this block. And now it does. Up and down in that corner, sideways in that corner. So I'm going to go and sew it this way. So see, we learned something. We learned that you need to pay attention. You want all your blocks to be identical. And we also learned that if you screw up like I did, it is a big deal. It's a very easy fix. Going to sew that, we'll press it, we'll put this baby together. I just realized I had my mother's door open there for a little bit, so it was, you probably could hear her TV. Now I have her door closed, but I have the AC on. All right, we fixed the boo-boo. Now we're going to make one big 4-patch. Wow, this is bigger than I expected it to be, but it's square. I prefer not square, but hey, there's a place in this world for square quilts. This is really good for a child on the floor. Just love it. Or a really big dog. I just think pets need their own beds. Okay, their own blankets, I should say, on their beds. We're just going to sew this together. I'm going to put these 2 together like this. Sew down. These 2 together like this. Sew down, and I'll be right back. I forgot to mention, pay more attention to the intersection, not by your edges. The edges can be uneven because we haven't done the final trim yet. So just always match up in the middle and just do whatever it tells you to do up there. Okay, another thing I can show you. See how when we sew, you know, obviously we like our seams to lay flat, but that doesn't always happen. This one got caught. I don't care. Nobody is ever going to see that. You're going to be backing this with something, and that's going to be hidden. It doesn't make it any less strong. It's not like it's a weak seam because of that. It's just not as pretty, but we don't care. It's going to be hidden. So don't worry about stuff like that. Now, I do want to say, wow, why is the lighting so blue all of a sudden? I'm just going to have to go with it. I did want to say, I have nothing against the quilters who like to do things perfectly. I understand that's their thing, but I don't like when other people, whether they're a good quilter or not, trash somebody for doing things that they think is not the right way. You know, I always say I'm a lazy tacky quilter because some man put that title on me. He said I was doing a disservice by the way I teach. I was a lazy tacky quilter, and I loved that because my purpose in these videos is to get you to actually complete something. And I have gotten an overwhelming response from people who are afraid to tackle these things, and I kind of let them feel like they can do it, because you know what? They can do it. So, you know, I don't care how people do things, but just let everybody do things their own way. And, you know, that's my, my mini rant in the video for today. So let's finish this up. Just going to put these together now, like that. And match up my seams as best as I can. You can see things are not even. That's okay. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm going to follow this top line. There's going to be this stuff left over. And I'm not even going to trim that after. Again, it will be on the inside of the quilt. Nobody will see that little extra. Be right back. And we are done. This was so quick and easy. I do want to say that when I put the 4-patch together, none of those intersections matched. That's okay. Yours don't have to either. Don't worry about those things. We have a nice funky stripe. Anyway, all looks a little bit wonky. It works. I did want to say that all you need to make this quilt top this size, and you will see it on the bed in a minute, is 1 1/4 yards of fabric, but that's cutting it a little bit close. So go ahead and get 1 1/3 yards. If your store doesn't cut weird, you know, things, only half yards or whatever, get 1 1/2. But 1 1/3 will easily take care of this, and it gives you some wiggle room. Is there anything else I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, so mine came out pretty even. You know, I didn't have any trimming to do on most sides. I would have some trimming to do. I don't know. I saw some somewhere. I don't know. I don't see any trimming necessary. But I'm just leaving it as is because, like I said, this will end up going on eBay like this, and some people can just, you know, win it. I start my auctions at a penny with free shipping. The link is always down below. And you can always check my blog, darlenemichaud.com. All my links are there. And some people just cut it up and they use the fabric, and that's fine. I just don't want this in my house because I have no use for it. Oh, let's measure this. We're coming in at about 39, I'm assuming, square-ish, by 40. So if you want to square it up, you can absolutely get like a 38-inch little blankie. All right, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. Do subscribe so you don't miss any more of the stuff like this, all made the lazy tacky way. Now I will show you some pictures, and I'll be back with more soon. Bye!